I love anxiety. No, really, I do. And by the end of this video, you will too. Anxiety is my best friend. It comes with me wherever I go. Anxiety is kind of like an overprotective mother who is just trying to keep her baby safe by saying, no, don't do that, that's too dangerous. The reason why you have anxiety is because you see it as your enemy. And I don't blame you, it's extremely debilitating. If you don't know how to deal with anxiety correctly, you're enslaved to suffer from chest pain, nausea, racing heartbeat, shortness of breath, headache, dizziness, diarrhea. Let me tell you something, I used to see anxiety as my worst enemy as well. My mom passed away 10 years ago. It was a beautiful Sunday, ready to watch the Super Bowl. We were having a barbecue, we were having a hell of a time. And suddenly I turned back and I saw my mom falling. In the emergency room, the doctor told my dad and me that she had terminal cancer stage 4. My dad's eyes were flooded. I practically had 30 days to enjoy everything that I have left of my mom. Anxiety entered my life as an injection directly into my veins. Every day got worse, and without even noticing, 2 years passed filled with overthinking, pain, hateful symptoms, and the deadliest of them all, fear. Fear of dying, fear of uncertainty, like what the hell is going to happen next? Fear of being crazy. Since I'm crazy, nobody likes me, then they'll reject me and I'll end up all alone.
Don't worry, we all get anxious sometimes.
I also have anxiety. It's normal. Get over it.
You have everything to feel happy. Come on, suck it up. Stop being such a drama queen.
It's kinda like if I stab at you and I told you not to bleed or stop bleeding, you weak. You end up being pushed into this endless loop where you have no other choice rather to fight your anxiety over and over again. But not today. You won't fight it. You'll get rid of it. I want to share with you what I think might be the most important video you'll watch this whole year. Here's why. Let me pull back the curtain and just save you like 5 years of pain here. I wish someone had told me all this when I had anxiety. Not to sound cocky, not to sound arrogant, but if I can go back in time with a time machine, this is what I wish they taught me to stop wasting precious time and energy in my early 20s. Stay tuned and listen and you'll know immediately what I'm talking about. In case you're wondering why I'm doing this, I want to show you I can help you by actually helping you. Today is a day you will never forget. Are you ready? We are set out for failure because we think we're going north, but we're going south. Everything you've done up to this point thinking is right is wrong. You want to feel peace, but you only feel fear. Everything you want to happen doesn't happen. And it's okay, I understand. It's normal to defend yourself against anxiety. You don't want to feel that way, and you start avoiding those feelings, finding distractions, aka escape routes that will make you feel safer. But it will always find you. You can't escape from it. That's why. I'm gonna reveal the 3 secret things you must know about anxiety to finally experience real results. 1. Wrong misperceptions. You don't want to get rid of anxiety completely. If you don't feel anxious at all, you are either deaf or you are a psychopath. And believe me, you don't want to belong to either of those two. So let's identify the different degrees of anxiety. Anxiety is the reason why you are alive. Otherwise, you wouldn't care about crossing a busy highway without looking both ways or driving like in the Fast and Furious movies because you are not afraid of speed or walking at night in a dangerous neighborhood. Anxiety makes you care for the welfare of you and your family. The unhealthy and self-sabotaging anxiety, this is the son of a we're looking for. And if you have been clinically labeled with a mental disorder, the first thing for you to understand is that this disorder only reflects as a condition that you had right at that moment in your life. People tend to over-identify with clinical labels once they have been given one by their doctor or mental health professional. They end up believing that this label, this mental disorder, is now part of who they are, when actually it's something they have. When my mom was few days short of her death, she told me something I will never forget. She said to me, "I may have cancer up to my neck at this point, but I'm not sick, or at least I don't think of myself as a sick person." This was a turning point for me. My mom wasn't delirious or crazy. She didn't deny reality. She acknowledged she had that specific condition, but she just chose that cancer won't be part of who she was. It's an emotion. Every emotion is important, it has its purpose, and is a natural and vital part of our human experience. Anxiety is no more sinister than any other feeling we might have. If we didn't feel anxiety, it would be one emotion short of the whole package, like psychopaths, and that definitely would be a disorder. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Albert Ellis, considered once as the greatest living psychologist, used to say, "Fortunately, you create much serious and healthy anxiety, and even more fortunately, you have the power to remove or decrease it." Yes, you can define your own destiny, you can create your own feelings, you can build your safe haven, you can change your circumstances, and you are the master of your life, even if you have strong and lasting anxiety symptoms and fear at every corner. 2. Unconditional acceptance. Have you seen a Harry Potter movie? Remember in the very first movie when Harry, Ron, and Hermione got trapped in the Devil's Snare? On one hand, we have my friend Ron, who panicked and started moving desperately. The more he strained against it, the tighter and faster the planned wound around him. The tighter his chest got, and the less he could breathe. On the other hand, Hermione was feeling fear, but she figured out that even though she knew this thing could kill her, by letting go and not resisting, she got free and helped her friends too. Who are you in this story? If you are Hermione, you don't need to keep watching this video because you are a graduated student. But if you are Ron, do not move from your seat because we are just getting started. I need you to trust the process that I'll teach you. I need you to believe this can work for you.
Huge shout out to John Vasquez.
A huge shout out to the one and only Dr. J.
Huge shout out to my mentor, John Vasquez.
Shout out to John.
Big shout out to Dr. J.
I want to give a huge shout out to John Vasquez.
Thank you, Dr. J.
There's life change with this guy.
I'd love to say thank you so much, Dr. J.
And what you accept, you can transform. Anxiety often comes from out of nowhere and then escalates really fast because you're going against him, and what we resist persists, and what we accept we can transform. Imagine that someone shoots you and you are really wounded by it. There are several things you can do. You can ignore it, good luck with that, or you can try to fight it and resist the fact that it happened. But the only thing that eventually leads to healing, physically and emotionally, is the acceptance that this event, regardless of its proportion, took place. Now, this doesn't mean that you allow or approve the circumstances. Many people consider acceptance as a form of giving in. Some may even see it as a weakness. But ask yourself the following question. Is there anything weaker than refusing to observe how things really are? Anxiety is kinda like an overprotective mother that is trying to protect you from something that happened before, something that scared you, protecting you from the insecurities you might have, and it doesn't want you to suffer from that experience again. Something that protects you doesn't make it bad, right? Anxiety can harm you, but definitely anxiety won't kill you. Does someone you know ever die from feeling anxiety? Probably not. Most likely you won't die from it either. It may feel uncomfortable in an obvious way. Yes, horrible sensations, but if your anxiety strikes, appears, pops out, what does it want to tell you? Maybe something you might need to heal, maybe something you must face, maybe something you need to get better at. What can you learn from it? It has a reason to be. We will talk about this later on. Nobody will tell you what I'm about to tell you here. This technique is so powerful that this video may get banned only for this. It is used in therapy and it's called exteriorization. We're going to unmask your anxiety here, and after this you will not be afraid of it anymore. You have to give your anxiety ridiculous characteristics, absurd features, give it a name, and in that way you know what you're facing. You know what you are up against, instead of dealing with the unknown monster in the dark. This way, it's not something terrifying in the shadows, and when you know what you are dealing with, it's not confusing anymore. It's not something scary anymore. Once I have done this, what I was facing was not so scary, so horrible, and it becomes easier to deal with it. I personally discovered that the monster that has been hunting me down day and night for years and years is in fact a lime green spherical monster with one large green eye, two small horns on his head, and thin arms and legs attached to either side of his body. Ring any bells? I want to introduce you to Mike Wazowski, aka my anxiety. Are you afraid of him? Even kids find him adorable, but let me tell you, he does know how to scare me. But the next time I feel anxiety knocking my door, I'll know it's him and there is nothing to be afraid of. I got used to Mike making dramatic entrances and showing up at the most inconvenient times. But once you are okay with that, you'll feel no anxiety. Embracing yourself also means embracing your anxiety, because it's part of you and you are more valuable than you ever imagined. You were born with greatness. Prove me wrong after this. If I give you this 20 bill, will you take it? How about now? Will you take it? How about now? Will you take it? How about now? Do you still want it? Yes, because it never lost its value. You were beaten, you were thrown down time after time, but you still got value. Fault or guilt is past tense. Meanwhile, responsibility is present tense, which leads us to 3. Take the wheel by actually doing it. And you will be capable of doing it after knowing who Ricky Jackson is. You don't know him? Well, Ricky Jackson spent 39 years in an Ohio prison for a crime he didn't commit. 39 years. The longest prison term for an exonerated defendant in American history. Wow. One could think that he's a resentful and bitter man. He obviously didn't choose for this injustice to happen, nor was it his fault that the way things turned out against him. However, it was his responsibility how to respond to this adversity. Why? Because men are condemned to be free. It would have been easy for him to lie down and say, I can't do anything about it, or I have no other choice than to hate everybody. But the funny thing is, ironically, it will still have been his choice. Doing nothing about it is still a choice you make. But Ricky Jackson chose the opposite.
Well, I guess a lot of people will want me to hate that person and they'll carry animosity towards him, but I don't. And I wish him the best. I don't hate him. I just wish he has a good life.
And for him, it felt as a new opportunity to live life to the fullest when he was liberated. Even though this man had obviously suffered pain much greater than most people ever face in their entire lives, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Are you willing to stop living the life you have right now and start living the life you are after? That question demands an answer from you. It can be just left there. If you like what you have seen until now, you will definitely love this book. Here you find all the secrets you must know about how to break the chains of anxiety forever. I made this for you, and no, I will not sell this to you. I will give to you as a very exclusive gift. This book is a crucial part of your journey to success, but it's not the real wake-up call that I'm talking about. It's not the real solution to guarantee 100% that you get rid of every tiny bit of your unhealthy anxiety. However, you'll keep learning the truth about anxiety. The mindset secrets. This never fails. I'll expose the prescription secrets and non-prescription secrets that only by doing this, your anxiety decreases or even disappears. Who knows? I reveal the 5 ways to take the wheel with little to no effort that will crush your fears, even if your anxiety is shouting 24/7. You want to be normal, right? Wrong. You'll discover the number one thing you can do that most self-help books won't tell you because they don't understand this one thing. I reveal the biggest mistake most people make when anxiety strikes. You will not know how to thank me enough for this one. I'll confess the 12 most effective problem-solving strategies that have been used by world leaders, CEOs, and the most successful businessmen around the world. I'll expose the hacking fears of ordinary situations for others but extreme for you. I'll reveal what you should never do when you panic. This will save you years of pain. I'll confess how to create a healthy relationship with your brain. Say goodbye to overthinking, dependencies, insecurities once and for all. I'll reveal how to clear your mind, relax your body, and improve your focus. My complete story and how we are connected. You'll understand is 100% possible for you to find freedom too. How to secure the transformation for good and so much more. But as I mentioned before, this is part of the solution, but not the solution itself. This book is part of the 2-minute mentor program where I challenge you with this. Give me 2 minutes with you. I'm not going to be physically with you, but hypothetically, if you can spend 2 minutes a day with an anxiety personal trainer constantly, I'll bet you'll begin to see a change under a month, possibly a week. Why? Because that is how the brain works. Your brain will act as a sponge, absorbing valuable information every day for 2 minutes. After you watch the video lesson, you will do a small task to lock the info into your brain. Scientists have discovered that if you do something after you learn something, you retain it 50% better in your brain. That's why after 30 days, you'll see real results with healthy thinking patterns and beliefs. I'm not saying that you will get rid of anxiety overnight, but you'll definitely be going the right direction. You'll be using a skill you already possess within you, consistency. Don't believe me? Instead of constantly worrying, instead of constantly thinking, what if this, what if that, instead of constantly escaping, instead of constantly fearing, you are good at being anxious, right? You will constantly improve. You will constantly heal. You will constantly get rid of anxiety. How? Just by listening to me for 2 minutes every day. Because you may think it's simple, but this consistent action every day will bring you one step closer to life, the success and the freedom you are after. I'll guide you, holding your hand towards your dreams. And of course, you can ask me questions. Of course, all of your doubts will be answered. And of course, you will form part of a community that supports you, understands you, and encourages you to keep going. There might be some days you might not feel as watching the lesson, and that's okay. But remember that success and consistency is to do it even though you don't want to. And come on, that's why I choose 2-minute lessons. They are so simple to watch that nobody can excuse them. Besides, every day is a new surprise that you don't want to miss it out. Let me say it again. Repetition is the mother of skill. Do you realize that your mind and body are so well trained and hardwired that with no effort at all, you start to feel unbearable sensations? Just like that. One day you will realize that you will be hardwired to feel calm and relaxed because repetition is the mother of skill. And this is what I'm doing here for you. Let's do it one day at a time. Start by doing what's necessary, then what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. What if I told you that you have to do something seemingly impossible to do, like eating 35 tons of food, drinking 70,000 cups of coffee, or sleeping 229,961 hours? Well, let me tell you that if you are just an average person, most likely you have already done it, or at some point you will do it. An average person will eat somewhat 35 tons of food in their lifetime, which is, by the way, like eating 5 grown T-Rex. Will drink somewhat 7,000 cups of coffee and will spend time sleeping for almost 26 years. If you go back in time and look at all your great achievements and successes, you will realize that none of those things you accomplished was in a blink of an eye. You got it by making small efforts one after the other until you finally got it. Don't believe me? Try it for yourself. Is finishing school a great achievement for you? If yes, let me tell you that it took you a lot of time, years included, and a lot of effort to finish and get your diploma. This is not done overnight. To live without having to think about each situation over and over again until you're exhausted. To be able to go places without the worry of what might happen when you get there and actually enjoy yourself. to spend time with your loved ones without the annoying interruptions of anxious thoughts and beliefs that ruins the moment. Life is all about constant and perpetual movement. The 2-Minute Mentor is the way to move you back into your life again for less than a monthly Netflix subscription. You and I both know that there are thousands, if not millions, of persons who suffer from anxiety, but my team and I can only handle a certain amount. We're about to reach maximum capacity. If this page is still here, then the offer is live, but tomorrow may be gone. Good shot is will be gone. Yes, it's crazy. I 100% guarantee you will be absolutely amazed by the results, or I'll return your money and let you keep the materials anyway. That's right, you have 60 full days to test drive the amazing impact of the 2-Minute Mentor program that will give you back the hope and the certainty that you can actually live a life out of anxiety and unbearable symptoms. Just email me and I'll give you back your money with no questions asked. Sounds fair? Click the button below this video now. Remember, this is the real wake-up call to get rid of unhealthy anxiety by doing something as simple as giving me 2 minutes every day. That is 0.3% of your day, and your life will change. There is no risk for you. The only risk you could possibly face is the one of guilt and regret when you miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity when you had the chance. There is no catch, no gimmicks, only limited spots left. In fact, if you don't love the program, I'll even refund you every cent and you don't have to give me anything back. So, click the button below to join now. You won't regret it. I am the Anxiety Mentor.